David in London, England, where I assume we haven't seen any werewolves lately. Who knows that song? He writes, "Hey Paul, I am fairly new to the world of high fidelity music reproduction." Welcome, David. And I keep reading about amplifiers, speakers, and other audio equipment having a British sound or an American sound or a Japanese sound. I thought all hi-fi manufacturers around the world were striving for the same thing, to reproduce the sound of musical instruments as faithfully as possible. So, is there really such a thing as a national sound? I think there is, and it's a little complicated. I'll do my best to kind of unravel it for you. Everyone in high-end audio, hi-fi, is indeed working hard to try and make the reproduced sound in our homes as natural and realistic as possible. I mean, the holy grail in this whole thing is to be able to turn the lights low, fire up music that you enjoy, and imagine that the players are right there in front of you. We had the Mahler group, so there's a local group out of Fort Collins, the Mahler Society, and they were the first visitors to get a tour of PS Audio, which we're still limiting. This was arranged a long time ago. They all showed their vaccination cards. They were all masked up, and we were just still being very careful. But the Mahler Society showed up at PS Audio, and we brought them into the listening room. Now, these people are music lovers, and they put their money where their mouth is. They donate to musical societies. They support musicians. They're great people, clueless about hi-fi. This was just a real treat for them to come here and to hear something they'd never heard before. And guess what they wanted to hear? So I put on the opening to the Mahler Third. And this was Tilson Thomas in the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, one of the great recordings of all time. And we turned the lights low, we cranked it up, and I watched their jaws drop. It was like, this don't sound like that at home. You know, it was a hell of an experience for them. And the depth, I mean, it goes back 20, 30 feet. It's stunning when you hear that on that reference system. I mean, it sends chills up me still thinking about that experience that we just had. So yeah, all of that is there. But the national sound that you're referring to, putting that aside, would look something like this. In Britain and the UK, we kind of don't like bass as much. Now, I hate generalizations and labels. I really do, because as soon as I say, I put a label on it, right? Well, the Brits don't like bass. Then you'll find some guy it's got bass, coming out as yin yang. But in general, if you look at most systems that I have been to the British hi-fi shows and all that, rarely do you see a subwoofer. Rarely do you see people that are really invested in bass. Nowhere near as much as Americans, who we like our music full range. That's right. And the Japanese, I would say, very much like their sound to be full. You'll often find subs, not as often as in America, but you will often find more full range systems. How do I put this? Their focus is entirely dedicated to the purity of the sound. That they'll throw everything else out if they can just get that pure, unadulterated sound. Where maybe in the States we like a little bit more. I don't want to say bling, but I'll say bling. We like it a little bit more exciting, and the British a little bit more reserved, and the Japanese a little bit more pure, kind of like the way we would stereotype their cultures. And I don't like stereotyping because it puts people in these boxes that I don't like. But they are useful for just giving you an idea of how many systems over there actually do respond. And I've been all over the world to hear these, and you can, we can go on and on about it. But yeah, I would say there is a bit of a national sound, and it's a good thing. I think it's great. I love it. God help us if we were all the same. Seriously, don't want to do that or go there. All right. Thanks for the question. And look out for them werewolves in London. Take it easy. Bye.